Shalom, shalom, brother Don Israel. How you doing? Shalom, shalom, brother Jonathan. How y'all brothers doing? I have to leave that one in the corner. Wow, keep bringing that out. Shalom, shalom. House of brother Daniel. How y'all doing? You and sister Mary Houston. Have to leave that one. Oh, I don't need the phone anymore. I got my own new phone. Forgot. Hope brothers and sisters getting ready for destruction of Nicanor, the Feast of Purim. So 110. Doing pretty good, brother Don Israel. Thanks for asking. Just trying to endure in this walk. Shalom, brother Dodd. Shalom, brother Damien. How y'all doing, man? Glad to see brothers and sisters tuning in. Just waiting for a few more people to come in. Brothers and sisters could be thinking of questions that they kind of want to touch on. Like I said, remember we got destruction of Nicanor coming up and the Feast of Purim. Where's that old calendar at? Can you send me a picture of that, babe? Doing good, sis. Doing real good. No, they sitting right here, tuning in for the class. How everything going down with our Houston Battle Axe family? Shalom, shalom, sister Nakut back Israel. How you doing, sis? You did. Can you send Sister Mary Houston the new one? Yeah, both. Yeah, we finna send it right over, sis. Make sure brothers and sisters get the all praises, sis. Still hell. That damn, I don't see it. You have to forgive me. I thought I reset the what? No, just text it to me again. Y'all forgive me. I thought I reset that damn alarm. It was reset for a couple of damn days. Oh, Salakia. Shalom, what you mean? You my message? Mm-mm. You need to say it or something. Let me see it. No, I didn't get it. No, I didn't get it. Try to send it to me again. So we got Destruction of Nicanor, which will be on February the 22nd, and then we have the Feast of Purim, which is the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th. Aleister Crowley, that cursed lineage, it wasn't a whole lineage. It was just going into Jeconiah and his son. That's all that that's going into, not the whole lineage from David all the way down. Because if that was the case, that would break the promises that the Most High God had already ordained. Yeah, we have many brothers that have explained it. Y'all just don't like the explanation of the scriptures that we give, because y'all already preconceived in y'all mind, no matter what Bible verses that we bring out, y'all just automatically think what y'all think. So, Shalom, Sister Hannah, how you doing, sis? You and the family? Battle X. Battle X is Memphis. No, I didn't get it. I don't know what's going, huh? So I don't know what's going on. See, even with this one, something going on with this phone. It's new and it's still tripping. Guess we'll go ahead and get started. Shalom, shalom. First off, giving all honor and praises to the Most High and to his son Yahushua. It's Captain Benaniah with the battle axes of the Most High, coming to you with another first day of the week Q&A. Start brothers and sisters off in the spirit and continue from a great class Captain Yari brought out yesterday. Remember, we got the Passover coming up. This week we have the destruction of Nicanor, and we have the Feast of Purim coming up this week. So brothers and sisters need to be preparing to celebrate it wherever you at. You know, do the best that you can. If you don't have a congregation amongst yourselves, gather with your immediate family. Or hey, if you have to celebrate it by yourself. You have to do what you have to do to keep God's laws and these high holy days to the best of your ability. To the best. I know Brother Jonathan, Battle Axes, Minnesota, is asking, what is the 3,000 souls in Acts chapter 2, verse 41? Let's go there right quick. This is the book of Acts chapter 2 and verse 41, and it reads, "Then they that gladly received his word were baptized, and the same day there were added unto them about 3,000 souls." So these 3,000 souls are just people that came into the knowledge and the truth about what the true baptism was. Just literally just 3,000 more people that was added to the congregation. Yeah, that's all that's going into Brother Jonathan. That's not nothing heavy. The brothers and sisters was thinking that it's just 3,000 more people that was added, that heard the word, that received the word, and started to understand it. I know Aqua saying I don't know what's going on. Maybe the connection. We got Captain Yara in the building. Hold on, Brother Dexter. I just have to restart my phone. So, I mean, you always say that, Alistair, but I mean, you never even bring any precepts. That's not what Christ said. If you believe Christ so much, then you'll believe what Christ said. Christ said in the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 16, that it will give you the kingdom. You read in the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 16, it says otherwise. Let's just go to a few precepts. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 25. We're just going to stop playing the games. And these are precepts that brothers and sisters need, because we hear it all the time from Christians, so-called Christians, that the law can't save you. Well, that's not what the Bible says. It's just not what the Bible says. This is the book of Luke, chapter 10 and verse 25, and it reads, "And behold, a certain lawyer stood up, tempting him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?" I get it. He said unto him, "What is written in the law?" Why did Christ tell him what is written in the law? Meaning, what's written in the law, and then do what's written in the law. He says, "What is written in the law? How readest thou?" So it's literally telling him to, guess what? Do the things that are in the laws of the Most High. And he answered and said, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself." And he said unto him, "Thou hast answered right. Do this, and thou shalt live." What is it talking about? This do, and thou shalt live. Meaning you'll be able to make it to the kingdom. Like we tell brothers and sisters, yes, you got to keep the commandments of the Most High God, but you also got to have what? Faith as well. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 12. I mean, these are just basic precepts that we always open up, that we always bring and present to Christians that say the law, you can't keep the law. Well, that's not what the Bible reiterates. That's why we're commanded to obey God and not man. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 12. "Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahushua." So I mean that's just plain. Let's get some more. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 22 and verse 14. "Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life." The tree of life is going into the kingdom. It says, "And may enter through the gates into the city. For without are dogs," meaning the other nations, "and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie." So, I mean, those are three witnesses showing us that we must keep the commandments and have faith. I mean, it's just plain. Come on, Brother Jonathan. Oh, that's what you was talking about, because I got a new phone. With the GMS, brother, I wouldn't pay it no more. I mean, you can do it for edification, but make sure you send me the video. Like, what was going on in the video? Like, I mean, what did you bring up? Because the thing is, we know with our brothers, like, we love the brothers, but sometimes, brothers just don't agree on that. But if it's a time to edify, I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with it, long if it's edification in there. And that's the point. But yeah, I did get a new phone, so I did get that message out. Shalom, Officer Yaakov. Shalom, John Lewis. It says, "So why did Christ come if all we're going to do is follow the law?" Because y'all don't have the correct understanding of why Christ came. Christ came to save us from the law of sin and death. He didn't come so we don't have to keep the laws of God no more. I mean, that makes absolutely no sense. So you mean to tell me Christ came to die? And I'm gonna take a page out of my brother's book from Brother Yawal from Sons of Thunder. So you mean to tell me Christ came to die so we can dishonor our father and mother? So you mean to tell me Christ came to die that we can now steal, that we can now kill, that we can now murder, that we can now rape? No, Christ didn't come for us to keep breaking the commandments. That makes absolutely no sense. And the one thing, because y'all don't keep the commandments, y'all not Israelites, and y'all don't do the things that the Bible instructs you to do on how to get the understanding, that's why you lack the understanding. That's what we say, it's just a joke. That's why it's ultimately showing you that the Bible is not for y'all. Shalom, Sister Clever Lawyer. Shalom. Shalom, Sister Adelia. Shalom. Shalom. I know Sister Nakuk back to Israel saying, "Cap, please help me understand the red lettering of Matthew's 28:19." Let's go get that. I know we kind of touched on that. And this is what Christians will call the Great Commission, and they don't understand what it's going into. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 28 and verse 19. And it reads, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost." So we see what Christ could basically commission the 12 disciples to go and to teach all nations. Christians are literally just run and isolate, teach all nations. They can get that understanding, but as it seems so simple, but when Christ in Matthews 19 and 16 is telling them to keep the law, they don't understand that. That's just funny to me, how you can take this simplified in this scripture, but then in Matthews 19 and 16, you can't simplify that. That is beyond astounding to me. So when he says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations," we have to understand that, guess what? Why did they have to go and teach all nations? First of all, they had to go teach all nations because what? One of the curses when Israel broke the commandments is that we will be what? Scattered amongst all the nations. That was one of the curses. This is why Christ is sending them out to teach all the nations. And Christians always miss that narrative. That's because they're literally separating the New Testament from the Old Testament, when the Bible is just one long letter addressed to the Israelites. They make the mistake about making the Bible a universal book. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 27. And these are precepts that brothers and sisters need to have to understand the total context. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, and verse 27. "And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whether the Lord shall lead thee." So that was one of the curses when we broke God's commandments, is that we will be scattered to all nations. This is why Christ is telling us to go out into all the nations, to teach the Israelites that were scattered among those nations. Let's get some more precepts. Go to the book of Tobit. These are precepts talking about the scattered Israelites. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 13 and verse 5. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 13 and verse 3. We're going to get straight to the point. And it reads, "Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he had scattered us among them." This is why Christ is telling them to go out into all these nations to teach the Israelites that were scattered among those nations by way of slavery, by way of slave ships. This is what this is going into. Let's get another precept in the New Testament. Let's go to the book of James, chapter 1, verse 1. I mean, we can literally go on and on for days on this, just literally on that particular part of the scripture, but we're going to break it all the way down. This is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 1. "James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahushua Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings." So even like when you're trying to read anything out of the book of James, James is literally telling you that this letter or chapter is addressed to who? The 12 tribes of Israel. So Christians have I'm talking about no reason to even go into the book of James, man. You don't have no reason to go into any of the books, let alone the book of James, because it's literally specifically showing you who it's for. To the 12 tribes of Israel, greetings. Let's go back. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 28, verse 19. "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." So we address why they had to go and teach all nations. Let's deal with the second part. "Baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost." What does it mean to baptize? It means to baptize by what? Being washed by water, by the word. Brothers and sisters should know these precepts. Brothers and sisters that have been among the battle axe for a number of years. Go to the book of Ephesians. chapter 4 and verse 26. No, 25. No, 5 and 26. Salakia. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 26, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. Because when you get baptized in water, water doesn't change you. Only applying God's laws, statutes, and commandments changes you. That's what we try to get our people to understand. That's what the Most High God, through his son Yahushua, is trying to get our people to understand. Once you apply God's, that's what stopped you from being a homosexuality to being a man of the Most High God. Stopping you from being a lesbian from a woman of the Most High God. Stopping you from being a drug dealer, a weed smoker, a gangbanger to children of the Most High. Once you apply these commandments in your life, that's what changes you. That's why the other nations are so pitted upon us. Guess what? Keeping the law. If you love the Most High God, what would be the wrong with us keeping the laws of the Most High God? Like, what would be wrong with that? If we chose to do it anyway, that makes no sense. When that's all Christ taught was to keep the law. Let's get another one. Let's go to the book of 2 Peter chapter 3, 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. 3 and 21, Salakia. Basic precepts, giving you the understanding. This is the book of 1 Peter. This is another precept for baptism. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 21. The like figure whereunto even baptism doth not save us, not the putting away of the filth of the flesh. It's literally showing you that in parentheses. What puts away the filth of the flesh? Water. It's literally telling you not water baptism. It's saying it plain in the scriptures, and you have to be an idiot not to literally see that in the scriptures. It says not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience, meaning changing your mind. Even like what Captain Yara was going into. That's something that we must do in this walk. You have to have a mind over matter. And this is literally what it's saying. Changing your spirit over getting your flesh washed. No, you got to change your spirit in there. They say you dunk a homosexual underwater, he just going to come up a wet homosexual. That's it. It's no change. But when he applies what Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 27, where it literally tells you the laws against that, or Romans chapter 1 verse 25, when he applies that, or when she applies that to her life, that's where the change come in at. Let's go back. This is the book of Matthew chapter 28 and verse 19. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost. So this is literally showing you that, guess what? The Most High and Christ are not the same entity. And we obviously know what the Holy Ghost is, according to what Acts chapter 7 verse 21. Baptizing them with the laws of God. It's plain, man. Just plain. This is what this is going into, sis. Give me some feedback if we need to touch on something else. Now, the brothers GMS, they do be on point on certain things. You know, certain things we don't agree with. Like, you know, we want brothers to wear fringes every day, you know, because that's how you let your light shine. I know brothers be kind of straining at a gnat when brothers, and you talking about, you know, hey, brother, your beard ain't all the way. You see it edged up a little bit. You know, you kind of strain at that, but you're not wearing your fringes. But we love the brothers anyway. And we understand that it's going to be differences, you know. So there's no division here on that. You know, brothers may say otherwise. Shalom, Sister Ventura. How you doing? Yeah. Sometimes it won't notify you, sis. I know you kind of have to be up on it. Shalom, Sister Deborah and family, other Battle Axe family in Houston. Shalom, sisters. How y'all doing? Brother Dexter said, Khan, it was concerning the name. He said, I shouldn't be saying Christ that put demons on me every time I say it. I want to turn him a new one theologically. Yeah, on that one, it's been many debates on that. On that particular thing, I wouldn't go into it. You know what I'm saying? Because brothers really don't debate. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you can kind of touch on it for edification to kind of give brothers and sisters the understanding on that. I know brothers be saying the name, the name, the name, the name. We understand to an extent why they say that, but they can never see the other side of it. So I wouldn't even, because the thing is, I know a lot of times we call him Yahushua, but sometimes we read in the scripture where it just say Christ. So we don't get caught up in the name. We just don't, because ultimately we know that the Most High God is going to do what? Give us a new heart and a new spirit to where we'll be able to say these things on one accord. So they can't expect us to all be on one accord right now. You just have to pray. Say he broke down 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 26 wrong. Shalom, Brother Harold Matthews. Go ahead with your questions, Brother Harold, because I know we've been trying to catch you for a couple of weeks now. Oh, okay. All praise. I'll check it out. I'll most definitely check it out. Brother John Lewis, are we under the new covenant now or not yet? No, we're not under the new covenant, Brother John Lewis. A prime example that we're not under the new covenant is because we're not automatically keeping God's laws today. And the scriptures show you that plainly. Let's go to the book of Hebrews chapter 8, verse 8. You have a lot of Christians that struggle with that, man, thinking that we're under the new covenant because of their misunderstanding of when Christ died on the cross. When he said, it is finished. What did he mean by it is finished? It means the prophecies concerning about his death. That's all that it was talking about, because there's many scriptures, many prophecies in the Bible that Christ hadn't, guess what, fulfilled. So it had to be talking about a specific thing, man. Christians take that and apply it to everything, and that's not the case. They're literally butchering the scriptures. So, Brother John Lewis, let's go to the book of Hebrews chapter 8, verse 8. And let's just read what it says. Lord's will, we're approaching it, but we're not there yet. And it's clues in the Bible that let you know that we're not in the new covenant. This is the book of Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 8. And it reads, for finding fault with them, behold, Salakia, for finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Now, we touch on this on multiple occasions. The first point that we always want to address is that the new covenant is only for the children of Israel, for the northern and southern tribe. You can't fit no other nations into this, man. And I don't understand why Christians even want to read the book of Hebrews. It's specifically telling you that it's for and addressed to the Hebrews. I mean, the Bible is specific on who it's addressed to. Christians, they make it hard, man. Verse 9, it says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant. And I regarded them not, saith the Lord, meaning they weren't keeping the commandments then. And it's referring to animal sacrifice. Verse 10, this is the point, Brother John Lewis. I want you to pay attention, brother. It says, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. What days is it talking about? Past or future tense. We're still in after those days. This hasn't came yet. It says, saith the Lord, I will put my laws into their mind. And he asks, Brother Lewis, are you automatically keeping Passover? Do you automatically know to put fringes on all your clothing? Do you automatically know how to keep tabernacles? Or to, guess what, keep the Day of Atonement? Or to celebrate each and every one of the Most High God's high holy days, to keep the new moon? Or to love your brothers, you love yourself? Or any laws that apply in Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy, and throughout the whole Bible? Do you automatically know and do those things? No. That's why we're literally out here teaching our people to keep the commandments. This is showing you that we're not in the new covenant. I'm going to read it again. It says, I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. God's laws are not written in our heart. We don't automatically know how to keep God's laws. That's why you have many camps doing what? Teaching God's laws. This is the prime example showing brothers and sisters that we're not in the new covenant. It says, and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. So if we're still out there teaching people God's commandments, it's showing you that we're not in the new covenant. It says, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. You still have Moabites over there in China eating cats, dogs, rats, and roaches. Like, come on, man. When the new covenant comes, guess what? All nations is going to be in submission under God's laws, statutes, and commandments. And if they don't get in order with God's laws, guess what? The 144,000, the 12 disciples and Christ going to come see about them, man. And that's just plain. So this is showing you that we're not under the new covenant. It says y'all trying to have the entire Bible for yourselves. Y'all aren't that special. You know we are. You know we special. That's why you said that, man. Don't hate, man. All praise, Sister Clever Lord. It says Alistair Baruch, chapter 3, verse 36. Great precept, he had found out all the way of knowledge, and had given it unto Jacob his servant, and unto Israel his beloved. That's right, and that's just plain. Many precepts showing you that the Bible was only given to the Israelites, man. And guess what? We're going to go to the New Testament and prove it. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 3 and verse 1. This is what Geno Jennings read one time. He read the first verse, but then skipped down to verse 9. That was wicked as hell, man. I'm talking about straight up wicked. Yeah, I cussed, damn it. And I cussed again. This is the book of Romans, chapter 3 and verse 1. And it reads, what advantage then had the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision? Meaning, what profit is there for y'all sacrificing to the Most High God, circumcising the foreskin of your penis? What advantage is it to you by being an Israelite, or in this case, a Jew? It says much every way. So God tells us that we have an advantage over the nations in every way. That's why, guess what? Over 400 and 500 years of slavery, and we still here. We get shot down by the police, we still here. We have our sisters, as wicked as they want to be, having so many damn abortions, but we're still here. You know, we have so much hatred amongst each other, but guess what? We still here. You know, fighting and clawing for, guess what? Just to make a living. You know, the Most High God said we have an advantage in every way. So yeah, we are special according to the Bible. And you know that. That's why you come on here and make comments like that without pulling any precept. Show us a precept in the Bible where God said that we're all equal. Or that, guess what? He compares any other nation to the Israelites. You know, it's no comparison to us, man. It says much every way, chiefly, meaning mainly, because that unto them were committed the oracles of God. So God is telling us we have an advantage over all the nations because we were given his commandments. Verse 3. For what if some did not believe, like Aleister Crowley? What if you don't believe? Guess what? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are special. It says, shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. It says, let God be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. So just because you don't believe that, guess what? We're God's chosen people, that we're special, that we have an advantage, you know, God don't give a damn. It don't mean that these prophecies are not going to be fulfilled some type of way. Brother John Lewis, it says the water only going to change you if you add soap to it, then your body won't have funk. Yeah, you're right, Doc. That is the only way. The Cookback Israel coming out of Christianity. I've had these questions for 4 years, just now able to trust asking someone. All praise, sis. Everyone called me stupid and would cuss me out. Hey, they let you know you're doing something right, sis, a lot of the times. They do, and I stated that numerous of times, but they do say some wild things that's not right as well. Yeah, they do. I'm gonna tell you, they say a few things that's not right. You know, we love the brothers anyway, man. you know. And like we say, brothers got to understand that all Israel ain't gonna come together, and we not gonna agree on many things. You know what I'm saying? So, all praise Sister Boy. Alistair Crowley says, y'all are way too locked in with the fringes. Y'all really, it ain't just the fringes. We locked in with God's commandments because guess what? The Most High God told us to, you know. He's talking about Alistair Crowley, y'all, we really want to be targets. Now, this is what the devil will do to try to stoke fear in our people. Newsflash, devil, we already targets just by being black. What the hell do you mean? So I'd rather be a target while keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments rather than not keeping God's laws. You really a damn target when you breaking the commandments. Who do you think is making people the target? Ultimately, the Most High God kills and makes alive. So that has no bearing on anything. You're not going to put that fear type spirit up in her, man. Most High God didn't give us the spirit of fear. Let's go to the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1 and verse 6. We don't deal with that. We already a target here by being black. That's just crazy. You might as well be a target while keeping God's commandments. That's crazy. And we hear them say that all the time. And frankly, I don't care. I ain't gonna even say that. I'm trying to hold my peace on that. This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1 and verse 7. And it reads, for God had not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. You know, we're not dealing with that type of spirit, man. We're just not. Brothers and sisters should know what precept should be going to next. Let's go to the book of Nehemiah. Because they stoke those things in us so that our people have fear and do what? Not keep God's commandments. That's all that it is, man. That's all that it ever is. Go to the book of Nehemiah, chapter 5 and verse. The book of Nehemiah, chapter 6 and verse 13. And it reads, therefore was he higher that I should be afraid and do so and sin, and that they might have a matter for an evil report, that they might reproach me. So we know we have agents out here to do what? That are being hired to do what? To stoke fear amongst our nation, that we may have fear and do what? Sin against our God. Because that's literally what this is saying. It is a sin to have fear in anything but the Most High God. I'm going to read this again. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 6 and verse 13. Therefore was he hired that I should be afraid and do so and sin, and that they might have a matter for an evil report. Meaning what? And they stoking that fear. Oh, we got them now. Now we got a situation to where we can bring this up to stop them from wearing their fringes. Next, it'll be what? Stopping them from not eating pork, stopping them from keeping Passover, stopping them from keeping the tabernacles, so on and so forth. Once that thing start, it's like a wildfire and it starts to spread. That's what fear literally is, man. We're not dealing with that spirit over here, man. It's this. Therefore was he hired that I should be afraid and do so and sin, and that they might have a matter for an evil report, that they might reproach me. Because we know ultimately we shouldn't fear no one but the Most High God. I'll fear God if I don't wear fringes. You know, that's me letting my light shine. Your brothers and sisters do what? As a way to start a conversation. Brother, what are those, man? That look nice on your shirt. Well, brother, it does look nice because it's your history, brother. It's literally your heritage. It says, Louis Jones, was humans created on the 5th day or on the 6th day? That's a good question. Now, you have humans created on the 5th day, but we see on the 6th day. Let's get there right quick. Go to the book of Genesis. On the 5th day. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1. So we see him being created on the 5th day, but literally getting the commandments in a particular time. We're going to touch on that too. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse. Let me see. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 23. Thanks. The book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 23. And the evening and the morning were the 5th day. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let us make man in our image. This is going into all the things that were created on the 5th day. Verse 26, and God said, let us, meaning Christ and the angels, made man. Let us make man in our image, after his likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. So we see that they were created on the 5th day. But we see where the Most High God was dealing with Adam on a higher level and gave him the commandments. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 7. Remember, when you're reading these things, when you read the book of Genesis, chapter 1, then when you read chapter 2 explains chapter 1. Then when you read the book of Genesis, chapter 2, chapter 3 explains chapter 2. A lot of times that's how it's going in the scriptures. It's not written in chronological order, like how brothers and sisters would want it to be written. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground. Now it's going into how he formed man, the first man, Adam. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So now we see what the Most High God did, what gave Adam the commandments. Yes, Adam had the commandments since the beginning. All praise, Brother Harold Matthews. We're glad you're here. So Louis Doan says, was humans made by dust or water in creation? It was made by both. When you look these things up now, our bodies are what? So many percentages of water. You see that, guess what? Our bodies contain the same things that are in the dust of the ground. We have zinc, we have copper, we have gold, small amounts of these things. The same elements that are in the ground we have in our bodies. That's why our bodies needs particular type of iron. If you don't have iron, you become what? Anemic. If you don't have chromium in your body, that's literally the substance that you need, that your body needs to produce to where you don't have diabetes. So yes, our bodies are made literally from the dust of the ground. Yeah, Isaiah chapter 2, verses 1 through 4, Salaki. That's exactly right. I know Brother Dexter from previously. Micah 4 and 2, and many nations shall come and say, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of God, and will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his law. That's right. Yeah, exactly right. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 22. Brother Damon is asking for a breakdown on Exodus 4 and 22. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 22. And it reads, and thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. So we know that, guess what? But this is going into the Most High God chose us to be his lineage, that he put his laws, his heritage through. This is why the Most High God, for lack of a better word, attributes to us as being his firstborn. We are literally the children of the Most High. Even when you go into the book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 28, that's what the name Israel means. The prince that has power with God and over men and has prevailed. We are literally the children of the Most High God. Even when you're reading the book of Romans, let's hold that precept. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 7. I'm gonna lie, man. When I first read Romans, man, this was a total eye opener, man. I mean, it literally breaks down everything, man. We know Captain Yeah. Salaki, brothers and sisters. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Hey, we know Satan don't want the word to go out, but remember, hey, all things is of the Most High. So, no, it froze, sis. It's not your raggedy phone. I know how it is. Mahana Yad Shalak. Uh, Let me go back up. Let's go back up. Yeah, Captain Yara, like I say, Sister Ventura, like I say, y'all are nothing. Deuteronomy 7 and 6 from Captain Yari. Uh, that's right. That's another great precept that Officer Yaakov put in there. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Have not I commanded thee, be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. Brother Harold Matthews, it says, hey, my brother, have you ever done a live gathering where we can come together and ask questions? Well, yeah, we do that all the time. That's why we always invite you out. We do that every Sabbath after class. After each and every Sabbath class, we always are any class that we have at the building. Brothers just done kind of conveniently started doing classes at home, but we have had Wednesday Bible study at the school, and obviously on a 7-day Sabbath. So any questions that brothers and sisters have, we always go through those things, to make sure that our people are getting the correct understanding. So we always do that, Brother Matthews. Always. And we always have a lot of Q&A. I know Captain Jerbal does it a lot when it's his time to do class for that week. So No, brother Don Israel, the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 12. Woe be to the fearful hearts and the faint hands. That's a great precept. And the sinner that goeth two ways. Woe unto him that is faint hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. That's exactly right. Shalom, Sister Boston. How you doing? Isaiah 41 and 10. Many precepts and great precepts that brothers and sisters are pulling out. So shalom, Captain. What do you think about the late Dr. Francis Wilson teaching on white analogy? Well, yeah, I love some of the things that she taught. You know, she would always bring out great points. Even with that Edomite lady, Jane Elliott, she speaks the truth about her people because she know. But yeah, Dr. Francis, yeah, she was always had great notes. We just wish that people had an understanding of the scriptures. If they had an understanding of the scriptures, she could be able to link those things together. The Bible is the foundation. So getting an understanding from the Bible could further expounds on why so-called Edomites are the way that they are. She would understand that, guess what? God literally created them to be the wicked. Then the pieces of the puzzle would all come together. Why things are the way that they are. So, like, where do we leave up? Exodus chapter 4 and 22. So we are the sons of the Most High. I know Brother Damien was asking about that. This is the book of Exodus chapter 4 and verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And I shall say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. So because the Most High God hardened Pharaoh's heart to not want to let us go, this is the whole part of the Most High God's plan, because he wanted to kill their firstborn, to literally incite fear and to let them know that he is the one true and only God. Verse 24, and it shall come to pass by the way on the end that the Lord met him and sought to kill him. Then Zipporah took a sharp knife and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet. And he said, surely a bloody husband thou art to me. This is going into when Moses had to do what? Had to circumcise himself. This is literally the covenant that the Most High God established with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So remember, Moses wasn't a part of Israel's heritage, so he wasn't exposed to this. So they understood the consequences. His wife Zipporah understood that, hey, guess what? If you don't circumcise them, they could be put to death, man. So that's why she ultimately circumcised them, because this is a part of the law. Then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, surely a bloody husband art thou to me. So he let him go. Then she said, a bloody husband thou art because of the circumcision. It's just going into how they literally had to be circumcised. It has no ties to what the Most High God did to Pharaoh. It says, what's a precept for Zephaniah 3 and 10? Let's go to it right quick. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3 and verse 10. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughters of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering. So a precept that you would use is Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 11. Let's get there right quick, because it's showing you on how our people will be scattered in Ethiopia. So when we are coming back into our kingdom, those people that still have God's chosen people that's over there, they're going to be bringing them from afar. Best believe, guess what? Everybody's not going to be taken up in the chariots. Only the people that is over here in this side of the earth will be taken up and saved from thermonuclear weapons. But once we're set in the wilderness, guess what? These other nations going to hear of the glory and the power of the Most High. They're going to be starting to bring, guess what, God, the rest of God's chosen people that are scattered into these other areas, because they're going to hear the power and they're going to be in fear, and they're going to bring the rest of our people as a offering, as a peace offering. Like, here your children, please don't destroy us like you did America. So this is what this is going into. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 11. And this is just the Most High God scattering us and bringing us back from where we were scattered. The book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush. Cush is Ethiopia. So this is why you need that precept with it. And from Elam. Elam is East India. And from Shinar. Shinar is going into Mesopotamia, modern day Iran and Iraq. It says, and from Hamath. Hamath is going into Syria because it's still the same name today. And from the islands of the sea. So we have Israelites that are still scattered in all these places that will be brought back once we're in the kingdom. Isaiah 41 and 10, fear thou not, for I am with thee, be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Precept, great precept that Sister Bossing Up put in there. Well, we don't read the Sefer because it's not in the Bible. It's just easy. Why don't y'all believe the book of Jubilees? Because we would actually need the understanding of the Most High, like when would be those set years. So no, we have the books that we need for salvation. You know, the book of Enoch is full of fables and lies. You know, we don't read that. Brother Mahanaya. If we are the people of the book, shouldn't we be documenting the works that you brothers doing as biblical proof? I mean, that's a good question, but I'm gonna tell you, these things are being recorded. They're being recorded, man. You have the angels recording everything. So, but that is a good question. 75% of water. Thanks for the numbers on that, brother Dexter. Our body are made up of 75% water. So, yes, we are literally of water and dust. Yeah, exactly. Even like Ox said. Froze. Some of your phone. Yeah, it froze up, sis. Let me catch up. I know we touched on that. Shalom, Sister Heaven Hound 55. I don't know. Facebook stopped working too. Damn. It's crazy. Oh, because it's connected to it, Salakia. I'm tripping. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 61. He made man and put his heart in the midst of the body and gave him breath, life, and understanding. That's a great precept, showing you that the Most High God created us and gave us the law. Second Ezra 3 and 5, and gave us a body unto Adam. That's my favorite precept. Without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hand, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. So Adam had the commandments from the beginning. On creation day, was one day considered 1,000 years? And if it was in Genesis chapter 2, was Adam set apart from the people from Genesis 1 and put in a garden to till it? Well, those things are not, and I understand, like we say, we get that from First Peter's. Remember, those days to us are 1,000 years, you know, or like a day. Remember, God exists outside of time. So we can't compare his time to our understanding of time. When it's literally saying days, we just take it as days because the Most High God literally can do those things in a 24-hour cycle, you know. So we just kind of take it as that. But I see where you're going. I know we don't have many discussions on that. You know, the brothers and sisters don't understand what he's saying in the book of First Peter, where a day is as 1,000 years and 1,000 years is as a day. You know, I totally understand where he's going. First Peter's. This is the book of Second Peter's, chapter 3 and verse 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. You know, so I totally understand the thought process with that, but I would tell brothers not to want to think that deep. I mean, I'll put it to you this way. Not that you can't think that way, but to not let that take your focus off what's more important. Remember, these things are our understanding to be open when Christ comes back. Lord's will, we make it to the kingdom. That understanding will be opened up according to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 9. You know. We know in part and we prophesy in part. Let's get there right quick. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 9. And it reads, for we know in part and we prophesy in part, meaning we know the Bible in part and we prophesy in part, meaning no one has the full understanding of the scriptures. No one but the Most High and his son Yahushua. It says, for we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, that which is in part shall be done away. Meaning when Christ steps on the scene, that's the one that's perfect. When he steps on the scene by him being the master teacher, all these things will be broken down to us on a level that we can comprehend. He'll open up our minds, literally show us the things that happen from the time of Adam and Eve, showing us those things that Eve went into idolatry on, showing us that nation that did deceive her, showing us all these things, that we kind of contemplate and think upon. Thank you, sir, for breaking down Matthew's 28 precepts. All praises. Moses, the Lord want to kill. Kind of rephrase that, Brother Damien. Yeah, exactly. Another great precept, Brother Dexter. Dexter put in there, Ezekiel chapter 11 and verse 17. Therefore say, thus saith the Lord God, I even will gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel. Brothers always putting great precepts, sisters putting great precepts as well. What happens to those that won't make it to the kingdom? Hey, they're going to be in the lake of fire, man. We understand why brothers teach that, but we just don't agree with that. If we all would make it, what would be the point in striving to keep the commandments right now? Shalom, Phineas Quam, Shalom. Do we now have to slaughter a lamb for Passover? No, because, we're not sacrificing. Now, when us at the battle axis slaughter a lamb, that's literally us preparing our own lamb. We're not slaughtering a lamb as a sacrificial offering. Brothers and sisters have to learn to discern that, because when we do it, we videotape it. So people like, well, we ain't supposed to be giving offerings right now. Well, brother, we still need the meat. We're not saying we're giving a sacrificial offering. We're just literally processing the meat and doing it ourselves. Because if you don't do it, you have to buy it from the store. So we're literally teaching brothers on how to, guess what? Cut your food, skin it, process it, get it ready to be eaten. That's all that we're doing. So you can do it, if brothers want to learn it, or you can just go and buy it at the store. But remember, we're solely doing it just to eat Passover, not doing it as a sacrificial offering. I hope you understand that, Brother Phineas Quam. Says, where in the Bible does it say the angels record everything? Let's get that. Let's get a couple of precepts. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. This is the book of Ecclesiastes. We're going to get a multiple precepts. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 6. And it reads, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands? So we see, remember, when you're saying things, you're not always in front of people. So this is letting you know an angel is always present, because you could see him when ain't nobody around you. But who saw that? That angel saw that. Let's jump over the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 20. And it reads, curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. What does it mean when it talks about in your thoughts? Meaning the things that you think about in your head. Who is there? Only you are there. Can't nobody know what you are thinking about in your head, but the angels do, showing you that they are always around, recording even the wicked thoughts that we may or may not have. This is heavy. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 20, curse not the king, No, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. For a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and they which had wings shall tell the matter. What is it talking about? They which have wings. It's talking about the angels, meaning they'll go and report those things to the Most High, those wicked thoughts, that wicked imagination that you may or may not have. They're reporting those things. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 36. These are three great precepts showing you that the angels are always there. Record. Even you, wicked Alistair, he's recording the wicked stuff that you think about us in your mind. And he gonna bring it up as an evil reporting that day, man. That's why we sit back, man. I laugh. That's why I let come on in here, scoff, man. Guess what? Y'all scoffing is a report being written on y'all. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 36, and it reads, "But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment." So we see you're gonna have to give an account, man. That's another one that I want. That wasn't actually the one I want. It is another one I want. It is another one. What is that? Somewhere in Matthews. I know brothers and sisters have it. Where is it at? Let me think. In Matthews. I hope y'all got those precepts written down by that. Let me see. Christ taught with the man of authority. I know it's on this side of my page. Who got that precept? Where'd she ask? I didn't see it. Or maybe I didn't go back up far enough. Sister Hannah, what you asked, sis? I didn't see it. Who can find the other precept? This one, is it Matthews 18? It's on this side of my page. I think it's in Matthews chapter 18, if I'm not mistaken. Matthews 15 and 18. Yes. This is the book of Matthews chapter 18 in verse 10. The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 10. "Take heed that you despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven." Meaning what? They're always reporting back and forth to the Most High, recording, writing these things down to guess what? To give a report of the things that you say. Yeah, put it in there, sis. Yes, people will be able to procreate in the kingdom. This is the book of Isaiah. We're doing a little rapid fire, taking a cue out of our brothers WFI book. You know, I'll be doing rapid cue. Yes, we'll be able to procreate in the kingdom. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 23. And it reads, "They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble, for they are the seed of the blessed of the Lord, and their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear." So we see their offspring, meaning what? We'll be able to have children. Let's jump over. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60 and verse 21. "Thy people also shall be all righteous." We know this is talking about the eschaton, meaning the end times, or in the kingdom type phraseology. Because how do we know? We're not all righteous right now. When it talks about us being all righteous, this is talking about in the kingdom, in the new covenant, when he automatically infuse our bodies and spirits with the knowledge of his commandments. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, meaning we'll be having so many children. It's like we have our own nation. It says, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time. So, yes. Vicious Judah, what do you think about Pastor Geno Jennings saying that when it says his head and hairs were white like wool? Yeah, he straight butchers the scriptures. Now, the point is, Pastor Geno Jennings try to play it both ways. Now, he put on that good show saying that Jesus ain't white. He had the big poster showing, giving a good presentation. Jesus ain't white. Well, think about it. There's only two types of colors on the planet Earth. So if he ain't white, what is he? Like, come on, man. We can't play the games here. If he's not white, what is he? Because there's only two types of colors. You have brown people and red people. That's the only types of colors on the planet Earth. So when he broke that thing down, he butchered that scripture, man. Shalom, Mother Mariah, how you doing? Saying that when it says his hair and hairs were white like wood and his feet being burned as brass is an allegory, not an actual depiction of Christ. We know it's an allegory, but the thing is, it's given a depiction. And you have to understand that it's no people walking around here that's literally white. Like, come on, man. You got Casper the Friendly Ghost walking around here. You better run like hell. Stop playing. So you have to be able to understand these things in its context. And if that's not enough, you have many other precepts like Revelations chapter 4, verse 3 and 4. Ezekiel chapter 1. You have the description of the Most High in the book of Daniel chapter 7 and 9. Christ in 10 and 5. I mean, the list goes on and on, literally showing you that he is a man of color. And that's the point. Yeah, he is a devil. Said we have dirty black skin while being black himself for real. Pastor Geno was right. Those are allegories, not real descriptions. Well, we expect you to say something dumb like that. Precept for Matthews 23 and 33. This is the book of Matthew chapter 23 and verse 33, and it reads, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple at the altar. Oh, that was 35, Salakia. It says, ye serpents, ye generations of vipers, Salakia. This is the book of Matthew chapter 23 and verse 33. Ye serpents, ye generations of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell? And it talks about hell is going into the grave. There's no place underground where a red devil is sticking you with a pitchfork. No, the red devil is on top of the ground right now, sticking us with all types of pitchforks, which are similar tools for oppression. This is going into Christ, guess what? Rebuking the scribes, the Pharisees, and the elders. This whole chapter, Christ was going in on them because they was being what? They were deceiving the people, telling the people to do what? To do certain things, but they themselves wouldn't do it. Let's jump over to verse 3. The book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 2, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat, meaning they sit as men as authority. It says, all therefore whatsoever they bid you, meaning the things that they tell you, observe and do, meaning do those things that they're telling you. But do ye not after their works, for they say and do not. So Christ is telling us, we get people all the time, y'all scribes and the Pharisees. Well, Christ literally just told you to do what the Pharisees and the scribes told you to do, but don't do after their works, because they will be teaching the commandments, but they themselves would not be doing it. So this is what Christ is going into. I mean, you can pull let's see, let me look at my other. See if I got something written down. Sister Hannah, put that question in there, sis, because I didn't see it. Hmm. See. Oh yeah, was she talking about the late Dr. Francis? Yeah, I did answer that. I said I agree with a lot of things that she said. Um, I just got like a brain freeze. Now you can use precepts. It's many precepts even within the chapter um, of the book of Matthew, chapter 23. You know, showing how they were wicked as hell. I would tell you to take any number of those precepts. Um, verse 23, you know, verses 2, verses 3, you know, those are precepts that you can use, showing how they were being serpents by telling people to keep the commandments, but they themselves wouldn't keep it. Khan understood, Cap. I saw your last Passover and felt convicted. Yeah, and I understand that. But remember, we were just doing it on two accounts just to show brothers and sisters on how to slaughter a lamb and to prepare it if you wanted to do yourself. You know, so now you shouldn't feel convicted because we did it that way. The point was that we needed the lamb to eat for the Passover. That was the only point, brother. It says you kill a lamb within city limits, your ass going to jail. I mean, we did it. You know, I know we posted it online. And they kind of took it down, you know, and we understand that, you know, but it was up for a little while. So we've been doing it for the last few years as we've been battle axes. And even when we was a part of One Body, we did it. So, you know, we've been doing it for many years. You know, I've been in the truth like 11 years now. So we've been doing it for many, many years. Oh, yeah, he is the devil. Shalom, Brother Lamar. Matthew's 18 and 10. Speaking of Matthew's 12th verse, 34 and Matthew's 12, all it goes well, all praise God. Says, how is there going to be a day of judgment, but y'all believe in reincarnation? Because just because we believe in regeneration, like the Bible says, guess what? All those things have to be in their rightful order. I mean, the Bible gives us understanding on that. So it will be day of judgment. That still don't negate regeneration. Like you trying to lump two things that can't be lumped together. Thank you, brother. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, man. Shalom, brother. Same there to you, brother Lewis Stones. Phineas, I seen that ungodly black skin. Yeah, he wicked as hell for saying that. Dirty black skin. The boy got a funny voice, man. I ain't gonna lie, the brother is a character, man. I see he love to do them debates with brothers that are not prepared to go at him with the scriptures, but he never seemed to not want to debate Israelites. That'd be funny to me. Israelites had these religions on a scare, boy. They scared to debate the Israelites, man. That's right. Acts 24:15, and have hope toward God, which they themselves also allowed, that there shall be a resurrection of the dead, both of the unjust. And I mean, it's many precepts on that. And that's a great precept that I pull. You pull one in the book of Daniels. You know, that's a great precept. I mean, when I done broke that concept down to him many times, it's just not for him. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to everlasting shame and everlasting contempt. So we see that, guess what? On Judgment Day, some people be brought back up to, guess what? To be put back to death, man. And some people going to be brought back up to receive everlasting life. So, and it's just that simple. So, like Cap, she said you already answered about Francis. Yeah. Is divorce lawful if the husband or wife is not in the truth? No. Can't just divorce them because they're not in the truth. Now, it's a difference if the unbelieving wife, they just get up and leave your behind. Now, in that case, is nothing you can do. But according to the book of Matthew, is no way you can divorce except for fornication. And Christ is clear on that. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 19. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 6. Verse 7. They say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away? He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning it was not so. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committed adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away doth commit adultery. So it's no such thing as divorce. That's what 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 15 is going into. If you have an unbelieving wife, and if she's pleased to dwell with you, let you not put her away. Now, if she decide that this is not for her and she just get up and leave, there's nothing you can do, brother. You know, in that case, hey, you wouldn't have no choice if y'all have papers on each other, you know, and she just not coming back, you know. Brother Dunn, Israel 2nd Ezra 16:65. That's right. And when your sins are, that's one of my favorite precepts. Sins are brought forth, ye shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day. There's another great one in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4. Dunn, Israel 2nd Ezra 6 and 16. What will ye do, or how will ye hide your sins before God and his angels? That's right. It's a great precept. Alistair, are you going to die in the kingdom but be reborn in the kingdom? That's what, yeah, we understand what our brothers believe, but we don't quite believe it, you know. We don't believe that. We say everlasting life. You know, some brothers, I know brothers, some brothers from GMS says just a long period of time, you know. And I totally understand why brothers teach the way they teach, but you know, we take that part as it says, you know. Says, is divorce lawful if a husband is not? No. Shalom Shah Israel. Yeah, we seen you on here last time saying that. I remember the Lord make it poor, he make it alive. You know, we're gonna constantly throw those prayers up for you, you know, pray that you are striving to keep the commandments and that you have the Most High God to establish you, brother. You know, we tell brothers, make sure you trying to look for a job the best way that you can. You know, at least try to find you a shelter, you know, that you may have a place to rest and then be out there looking for a job, saving up your money as much as you can, brother. You know, that's the counsel that we give to brothers that are in those particular situations. First, try to find you a shelter. Use that shelter as a way to, guess what? Because we understand sometimes the shelters don't even be safe, but you do need a roof over your head, especially being in the winter. They say the mean season, you know, so you need something to kind of cover your head, brother. And then use that as a way for you to try to find work while throwing up prayers. It says Gino playing games. He tried to allude to him being white and then cleaning up again. Yeah, that's right. Shalom, brother Ray, Battle Axes of Minnesota. How you doing? Shalom, sis Talia. How you doing, sis? When is Passover this year and how does one keep it? Well, Passover is April the 21st, brother Judah, the 21st to the 28th. You keep it by what? First, removing all the leaven out of your house for that week. Removing the leaven, meaning things that have yeast in it. You have to remove all those things out of your house. That's why we tell brothers and sisters, watch the things that you buy. It's a similitude, it's a metaphor for you removing sin out of your body, out of your temple. You remove those things out of your temple. You don't eat those things for a week. You eat lamb, you eat bitter herbs, drink wine on that first day, and eat unleavened bread for 7 days. Yeah, we see you in here last time. The thing is, Brother Shaw, Israel, we don't know you. We know we get a lot of times, brothers and sisters, they send like emails saying send donations. You could be somebody impersonating an Israelite. You know, you just have Shaul Israel, then having brothers and sisters send you money. Then you might be not using it for the reason that you say. So the Bible is clear on uh know to whom you doing good to. You know, this is the book of Sirach. And I know a lot of times brothers and sisters can be in there, oh, he Israel, we should want to help him. But the Bible is specific on helping and how to help brothers and sisters. I tell a story all the time, man. When I first came into the truth, man, I was just so happy about being in the truth. I'm seeing my homeless brothers on the streets. I'm just giving them out money every time I'm. Then I got the understanding of the scripture. They could probably take that money and then go buy drugs with it, or go buy alcohol with it. Who knows what they're doing with that money? It's not to say that you don't try to help brothers on what they need, but you have to know who you are helping. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 1. When thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it, so shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. So the Bible is clear. When you want to do good for somebody, know that spirit that you help. You don't want to help a brother that you know got an alcohol problem. Go take that money, then buy a fifth of Jack or buy a whole case of booms for him. If brothers and sisters still drink that, you know. It says, verse 2, do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. Meaning, you help a brother that's striving to keep the commandments, because the Most High God will pay you back. It says, and if not from him, yet from the Most High. There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms. So a lot of times, like we say, the Bible is clear on who to help and how to help those brothers and sisters. Verse 4, give to the godly man and help not a sinner. You know, it's clear on that. You know, we help brothers and sisters out all the time amongst the congregation, you know, but we know those brothers and sisters and we know the works that they do. Christ said, if you've seen him, you've seen the Father, and the Father's describing Daniel. That's right. Whole body being the color of burnished brass, so it's nowhere around it. It ain't, you know. Yeah, you tell him, I know, Officer Yaakov, you just gonna bring the precepts out, you know. Hey, that's what does it, man. Brother can be in here. We're gonna bring the precepts out to give the brother the understanding. Is the angel of God him in the form? Is the angel of God him in the form of an angel, or is the angel of God an entirely separate person? No, the angel of God is just what it says, Ricky Rounder. It's an angel of the Most High. So you see that in many accounts of let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 32, with Jacob wrestling the angel. You know, we see that in many accounts. Let's say that's why I love Q&A. We be all over the Bible. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 32, and verse. Is that what I want? Start at verse 1. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 32, and verse 1. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. So we literally see where it's telling you the angels of God. Remember, God don't leave his throne. You don't have to leave his throne. He has the host of angels out there to do his bidding. So we see that in that account. We see in the book of Genesis, chapter 32, and verse 24 on down, where Jacob wrestled an angel. Let me jump down. So what is that? Blessed him. Yes. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 32 and verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. So this was an angel that Jacob was wrestling with. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. So he's saying, hey, our forefather got down, man. He was a man that had strength. He wrestling with an angel. He's seeing that this angel, he probably was getting a little bit of best of the angel. The angel wrestled his thigh out of socket. And guess what? Our forefather still was wrestling with him, man. That's us, comparable to affliction. Us going through trials and tribulations, we still have to fight to, guess what? Get blessings from the Most High. Guess what? Fight to stay in this truth. And that's something spiritual that brothers and sisters need to take from this. You know, this is account is deep, man. I'm gonna be doing a class on this too next week. You know, so it's a very, very heavy account. It says, and he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I would not let thee go except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. So Jacob wouldn't let this angel go until he what? Until he blessed him. Meaning what? We're not going to stop fighting for the kingdom until the Most High God bless us with the kingdom. You know, we're not going to stop fighting. Guess what? Addiction, lust, hatred, evil eye, being out of order, sisters out of order, discipline of your mouth. You're not going to stop those things, and you shouldn't stop those things until the Most High God blesses. It says, and Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is that thou doest after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of that place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face. Now think about it. Did he literally see God? No, he didn't see God. Remember, the angels come in the power of the Most High. So this is what it is making reference to. This is just an example too, Brother Ricky Round. Brother Yaakov. It says, can I get a breakdown, Mark 42 to 48? Let's get there right quick. What time is it? Well, that time be flying by just too fast, man. But you know, like they say, time flies when you're having fun. You know, we love going through the scriptures, man. It's real fun and exciting to us. This is the book of Mark, chapter 9 and verse 42. The book of Mark, chapter 9 and verse 42. And whosoever shall offend one of these little ones that believe in me, it is better for him that a millstone was hanged about his neck and were cast into the sea. Meaning, you brothers and sisters in this truth, and you offend brothers and sisters and don't reconcile with that, it's better if you just kill yourself. You know, Most High God ain't playing no games. Christ ain't playing no games, because when you offend someone, guess what? You're not doing it to that brother or that sister. You're actually doing it to Christ, man. And he gave an account of this to Saul. Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 9. This is exactly what he told Saul when he was persecuting him. Remember, Saul was persecuting the church. This is the book of Acts, chapter 9 and verse. I'm going to start at verse 1. And Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest and desired of him letters to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem. So guess what? Paul was going around these areas looking for what? Looking for Israelites to lock up, because they was teaching in the name of the Most High and Yahushua. Verse 3. And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. And he fell to the earth and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? This is Christ. Remember, Christ was already dead. It says, and he said, who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Yahushua, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. Remember, Saul was locking up the Israelites. So Christ is a tribute to what he was doing to you, doing it to Christ himself. So this is what it means by if you're offending a young one in this truth, guess what? You're really doing it to Christ. So brothers and sisters have to watch how they speak to one another. You want to make sure that you show hospitality to one another, especially new brothers and sisters that are in the truth. And we always talk to brothers and sisters about that at the Battle Axe. If you got new brothers in the truth, you want to make sure uh, you make yourself known unto them, make them feel comfortable in this truth, because we want to make sure that we not offending brothers and sisters. We don't want to be nothing like the Christian church, man. You get that amongst the Christian church. Sister Hadley don't like Sister what's her name? Sister Betty. You know the name that I always give. You have that in there, and you have that amongst Israelites. And I speak that to brothers and sisters, shame, man, because when you're offending brothers and sisters, you're doing that to Christ ultimately. Let's go back to the book of Mark. Book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 42. And whosoever shall offend one of these little ones that believe in me, it is better for him that a millstone was hanged about his neck, and that he would cast into the sea. And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. Meaning, remember, these are allegories. Christ is not literally telling you to cut off your hand. Remember, you use your hands to work forth sin. Meaning, if you are in a particular sin or doing a particular thing that you know will cause you to sin, Christ is telling you to cut it off. The analogy I always get, brothers that struggle with porn, you can't be on that new phone without touching and going to those porn sites. Negro, you better get you a damn flip phone or 1G damn phone to where all you can do is just call important people, to where you can't look at nothing. You have to do what you have to do to, guess what, to stop sinning. If you struggle with smoking weed, why would you go and hang around Pookie and Jum Jum? That makes no damn sense. So if these things offend you, you have to cut it off. Even with your family members, that they're constantly trying to get you to keep Christmas, break God's law, statutes, commandments. You have to cut them off, man. It says, and if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter into life maimed than having two hands to go into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched, where the worm died not, and the fire is not quenched. And if thy foot offend thee, cut it off. It is better for thee to enter halt into life than having 2 feet to be cast into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched, where the worm died not and the fire is not quenched. So we see that Christ is giving the analogy to don't walk to sin, don't put forth your hands to sin. Meaning what? If these things are causing you to sin, cut these particular things out before you don't make it to the kingdom. Verse 47, if thy eye offend thee, pluck it out. Even like it says in the book of Job, chapter 32 and verse 1. Meaning you have to make a covenant with your eyes. If brothers know that they have lust for eyes, sisters know that they have lust for eyes. Job give us the understanding on that. Go to the book of Job, chapter 32 and verse 1. Salakia, chapter 31 and verse 1. This is the book of Job, chapter 31 and verse 1. I made a covenant with mine eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? Because ultimately, lust starts in your mind. And you start those things from the things that you do see. That's why it tells you in the book of Matthew that the light of the body is the eye. Guess what? That when you see things, guess what? It's a light into your mind. Your eyes see it. And guess what? Those things start to roll through your head. And guess what? Those things eventually, if you don't have discipline, it puts forth that action to, guess what? To do that sin. So this is what this is going into, Brother Damien. Yeah, you're going to pay for that too, Crowley. You're going to pay for it. Shalom, Brother Jose. How you doing, Doc? That's a great precept. Yeah, you always saying that, but that ain't how we take that account. Because y'all are also fighting amongst yourselves, especially GM, y'all. I mean, yeah, it's our job to rebuke one another. We don't take it personal. Even just like the brothers on GMS. They don't take it personal. If you are, you're not in the spirit. It's our job to correct one another. Alistair, you're the one that's on here trying to cause division. We understand the scriptures. We understand there's going to be difference of doctrines. That's what we tell brothers and sisters. Don't take it personal that brothers don't believe the same thing that you believe. We don't take it personal at all. It says, yeah, you ain't lying, Officer Jacob. Why don't you go scoff at Joel Osteen, man? He the one that just had somebody killed in this damn church. It was a child? Oh, damn. That's even worse. I thought it was a woman. Oh, she shot the child and they shot her. Oh, hell, even worse, man. Yeah, exactly, Brother Dexter. Second Maccabees chapter 12, verse 44. If he had not hope that they that were slain should have risen again, it had been superfluous and vain to pray for the dead. That's a great precept, Brother Dunn Israel, referring to what we was talking about earlier about reincarnation and resurrection. Okay, Brother Dexter, I still need to understand Exodus, who the Lord's. No, that's not what they were saying. Ultimately, the Most High God was saying that he would have killed Moses if he hadn't circumcised the foreskin of his penis. That's what that was going into, Brother Damien. Shalom, Captain. If a sinner asks you to pray for him, but they're not trying to keep the law, how are you supposed to handle that? Well, you handle that according to John 9 and 31, that the Most High God don't hear prayers of sinners. Now, you can pray for them. You yourself can be as a lifeline to them, because even in the scriptures, in the book of James, let's go get that right quick. So if you're keeping the commandments, you throw up that prayer that the Most High God put it on this spirit to what? Have him repent. And that's all you can do. This is the book of James, chapter. Is that what I want? Yes, this is the book of James, chapter 4, and verse 16. And it reads, confess your faults one to another and pray for one another, that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. So by brothers and sisters striving to be righteous, you throw up that prayer for brothers or sisters that are in sin, that the Most High God take that sin away, take that particular spirit off of them, and have them put on a humble and a submissive spirit that wants to keep the commandments. So you be that lifeline, Brother Hosea. Now I'm gonna tell you, Sister Ventura, he to a degree he do want to know about this stuff. That's why he's asking. He want to know about those things because you got to understand he been taught lies too, and he know it. They've been taught lies. So the thing is, they love to come on here to get the true understanding of the scriptures, And the thing is, he got a devil spirit, so he can't help but to be wicked. But don't think that he's not taking to the accounts the precepts that are being brought out. You ain't no damn Judah 144. Sit your behind down somewhere, man. It says, but the Bible said we must help our brothers. But yeah, that's what we gave the understanding on there. So think about it, Brother Damien. You gonna help brothers that you know are crack addicts? Think about it, Brother Damien. We always want to use wisdom, brother. So you gonna give a crack addict $100, brother? That's gonna make him even worse if he didn't have the money, brother. That's the point. You use wisdom with that. That's why the Bible tells you, know to whom you doing good to. Now the thing is, if you have a brother that's on crack, we're not gonna give him money. But if we'll tell him, we'll give you these scriptures. Hey, brother, why don't you listen to the few Bible verses? We'll go and get you something to eat. While we talk about the scriptures. You have to learn to use wisdom, Brother Damon, and can't fall into your emotions. Because the thing is, it always revert back to 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 3. The Most High God make it poor. He make it rich. So you see brothers and sisters that are poor, that are rich, that don't have nothing, it's for the Most High God specific reason that we know nothing about. Nothing about. So you have to apply the commandments rather than emotions. Hope you understand that, Brother Damien. Okay, it says, can you explain and expound on 1 Corinthians 7 and 2? Let's start up at verse 1. Because Christians would try to take that and apply, but verse 1 is the context. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me. I'm thinking about Romans 7 and 1. Salaki. It is good for a man not to touch a woman. Meaning what? Ultimately, when you deal with a woman, you know you have to marry her. If you're in this truth, by you having a wife, yes, you put the Most High God first, but you have to have time for your wife, meaning to build, to strengthen them in the precepts. This is what Paul is going into. That's why Paul didn't deal with women. You don't read no account of him dealing with women. You don't read no account of Christ dealing with women, because they were solely there to do the work of the Lord. Because a lot of times when you have wives, when you keep reading on in this chapter in verses 29 on down, it tells you that you have to make time for them. You know, you won't necessarily have all the time that you need to, guess what, give unto the Lord. I'm going to read verse 1 again from the top. Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and every woman have their own husband. Meaning, if you know you like a particular sister, you know you kind of deal with lust to a degree, you know, instead of you, guess what, going off and committing fornication, guess what? You want to make sure that you get that spirit under control, because you don't want to just take a wife for just fornication. You know, like it says in the book of Tobit, chapter 7 on down. You don't want to just take a wife for fornication. You want to make sure you get those things under wrap. But guess what? Ultimately, we know that sex is a part of marriage. So this is what Paul is explaining. To avoid fornication, take you a sister, prove that sister, marry that sister, and guess what? Y'all can wear each other out. But you want to make sure that it's done up under the rules of the Most High, the laws of the Most High. And this is all that they're saying, brother. Committing sin unto death, that's right. It says, okay, brothers, that's a read verse again. I needed to understand because a wife, I really need to understand because his wife is not an Israelite who's the Lord sought to kill. That's what I'm just breaking it down, Brother Damon. I don't know why you don't understand that. You know. Let's go back. Let's kind of help Brother Damien out a little bit more. Well, I already know. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 24. And it came to pass by the way in the end that the Lord met him and sought to kill him. This is going into Moses again, Brother Damon. I want you to listen carefully. Going into Moses, because this is literally talking about the Most High God wanted him to do what? To circumcise. Verse 25. Talking about Moses, Salakia, Moses' son, because verse 25 is the answer, Brother Damon. Who is the him that he sought to kill? He's given the analogy for what? For Israel being his son, to the analogy of Moses having his own son. Verse 25 is the point, Brother Damon. It says, then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, surely a bloody husband art thou to me. So she let him go. Then he said, a bloody husband thou art because of the circumcision. So they both were circumcised so that the Most High God didn't kill them, Brother Damien. Please tell me you understand that. Yeah, exactly, sis. If only the Lord flew by this like when we was at the plantation. It says when you pray, you're supposed to keep it a secret. Right? Matthew say pray in secret. I don't like telling people I pray for them. You feel me? Rather, well, yeah, I mean, but you don't want to take that to the extreme. Remember, brother Jose, you don't want to be over righteous. So even within that, it's understanding that comes with that. And we tell them, sure, I always pray for brothers and sisters. You know, now what it's talking about is you going into your own confined space. Genesis 9 and 12, it says, and the men said unto Lot, has thou any besides son-in-law and thy sons and daughters and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. Genesis 19:13. For we will destroy this place because of the cries waxing great before them in the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it. Going into the angels, exactly. Says, I notice a lot of y'all Hebrews purposely not smiling, intentionally try to be sad because y'all incorrect. Think Christ was unhappy all the time. I mean, Christ was a man of many sorrows, like it's prophesied in the book of Isaiah 53. What in the hell? I mean, we have good times amongst ourselves, like it says in the book of Ecclesiastes. It's a time to smile, time to be happy, But we also understand and are not dumb to the fact that our people, as a nation of people, are oppressed. What in the hell do we have to smile about? Our nation is in shambles. Sisters are out of order. Children are out of order. The men are out of order as a nation. Do we have a good time? Yes. I'm pretty sure Christ had a good time among the disciples keeping certain high holy days. It was a time and a place and a season for all those things. But you best believe it's just not going to be jolly all the time when God's laws are not ruling the planet Earth. And our nation is not the top nation on the planet Earth. That makes no sense. That's exactly right, Brother Dexter. That's right. Shalom, Brother Harold. How you? He talking your mother and father, sisters and brothers. Shalom, Mark. Now, be more specific. Because that's right. The book of Sirach, Brother Dunn, Israel, the book of Sirach, chapter 31:13. Remember that a wicked eye is an evil thing, and what is created more wicked than an eye. Therefore, it weepeth upon every occasion. That's a great precept. Going into what I pulled in the book of Mark, chapter 9, and verses 42 on down. Connie, 5-year-old, she in critical. Oh, she did? Okay, all praise. Was asking. Yeah. That's right. Proverbs 28:9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. Shalom, Sister Eva. How you doing, sis? Shalom, Captain. Do you have a scripture to point out to my Catholic relatives when they make a cross on my face with their hand? Oh, damn. I know about Issachar doing that stuff, man. To bless me my way home when leaving their house. That's a good question, sis. That's a great question. I mean, we can go to that is a form of idolatry. So I know a lot of times we bring out crosses in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, 3 and 16. Let's see. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 18. It can be applied in that context to a degree, because ultimately we know they're making the sign of a cross. And the Most High God said that's basically going into idol worship. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 18. What profited the graven image that the maker thereof had graven it, the molten image and a teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusted therein to make dumb idols? Or you can even just flip it back on them, Sister Eva, and ask them, like, where in the Bible does it tell you to do that? You have many accounts where the Most High God told us to not worship the cross. So if we're commanded not to worship the cross, then surely that would be in that too. That motion of drawing across on brothers and sisters' faces, you know. So you could be able to put that Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 25, many precepts that deal with idolatry. Even in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64, you know, that's basically worshiping the work of men's hands. But that's a great question, sis. I would apply that up under idolatry, sis. Yeah, you have to, our brothers and sisters, man. Oh man, here's another one. I said the one in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let's jump down. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods. When they doing that, they're serving an other god, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. We know the wood makes reference to the cross. We know the stone makes reference to Islam. That cobblestone that our people worship over there in Mecca. The cross, what our people worship over here in Christianity. So you can use these particular type of precepts on how it goes into idolatry, sis. It says, my brother is one and help him. You have to explain. Break it down, Brother Damien. Oh, we don't care what the hell you do, Alistair. So the Bible contradicts itself because in the Old Testament it tells us we could have multiple wives. You don't understand that. That's exactly right. Great precept. Hebrews 13:4. Marriage is honorable in all, the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. That's right. Scriptures say in Revelations 21:4-8, there will be no more crying and weeping. We are being saved, denoting the state we will be in. That's right. Sister asked them, where in the hell is that in the Bible? That's right. You would have to ask that. Like, where is that? Should our children be wearing fringes daily? How about a newborn baby? Yes. Why wouldn't they? Put the fringes around their bib. Yeah, put them fringes on them babies, man. Yeah, my son, he wears his fringes every day to school. Why wouldn't they? They got to let their light shine too. Done Israel, Luke 19:21. I fear thee, that's right, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. Trying to take credit for other men's and sisters' work. No, Christ ain't dealing with that particular type of spirit. You got to put your own work in this thing. Stop leaning on brothers in that matter to try to steal their work. And some brothers might disagree, but that's also synonyms with, that's right, Exodus 20:4. As an Israelite, am I only allowed to marry women and tree? Ain't no damn Israelite, and we ain't answering that. The devil. Crowley, the devil. It says they got that from the Roman Catholic Church, and now dumb black people are doing it because they're lost. That's right. And that's all that it is. Shalom, Brother Donovan. It says in the New Testament, it doesn't talk about making Gentiles handmaids and servants. Yes, the hell it do. You just don't never want to read it. You ain't never read Revelations 13:9. Let's get some. Let's show them, brothers and sisters, that it do talks about it. The devil think he's slick, man. We ain't gonna let him though. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. When you take a nation into captivity, what happens behind that? They become servants and handmaids. They become slaves. They build up your kingdom. They become your possessions. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. So, yeah, he is. I can't lie, man. The devil be cracking me up sometime, man. No damn well you ain't no Israelite. Knowing he ain't. Let's go to the book of Revelations, chapter 3. Famous precept that we always bring out. Book Salakia, the book of Revelations, chapter 2 and verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. What is the definition of the word Gentile? It literally means nations. Literally means nations. And keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I am received of my Father. That's just plain. We're not playing the games with the other nations. Christ is going to rule them with a rod of iron. So we literally have precepts showing you that, guess what? We will be ruling over the nations. This is out of the Lord's mouth. This is out of Christ's mouth, man. So it don't get no more certified than that, man. But you are your forefathers. That's the point. So you have to pay for the sins of your forefather, because the thing is, according to regeneration, that could have been you back then. We know it could have been you now, because you literally throw disrespectful terms out of us. You literally comments earlier saying we had dirty black skin. You constantly call us niggas. So you getting that. You getting that work, Alistair. I don't give a damn what you say, man. You gonna get that work, man. Hey, we're gonna show you who the fool is in that day. Prepare for captivity, man. That's exactly right. Andres Carter, one of my favorite camps, say when it comes to Paul, everything ain't the most high word. What you think? Well, no, we don't agree with that. And we understand why brothers teach that, but we just don't, We totally understand that. But remember, like how we've been telling brothers and sisters, it's going to be differences of doctrines. Brothers and sisters, don't worry about that. That's why the Bible tells you, get with brothers and sisters, or get with camps that bear witness with your spirit. Get with brothers and sisters that bear witness with your spirit, on how brothers break down the scriptures and so on. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 37. If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord. So we know that, the Most High God was dealing with Paul. We know that he was dealing with Paul. Christ taught Paul, when we read in the scriptures. Let's go to the book of Ephesians. We see these things. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 1, verse 1. Paul, an apostle of Yahushua Christ, by the will of God, to the saints which are at Ephesus, and to the faithful in Yahushua. So we see these accounts. We know that Christ literally dealt with Paul. So we do believe, that the epistles of Paul are inspired. We totally believe that. Let's go to the book of Acts. Just left here. The book of Acts, chapter 9 and verse 10. And there was a certain disciple at Damascus named Ananias, and to him said the Lord in a vision, Ananias. And he said, Behold, I am here, Lord. And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus. For behold, he prayed, and he had seen a vision, a man named Ananias coming in and put his hand on him, that he might receive his sight. Jump down to verse 15. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's 15. Let's get there right quick. Another great precept. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 15, one of my favorite precepts. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations and rule them with a rod of iron. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. And on his vesture and on his thigh had a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Let's jump up to verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon it was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness doth he judge and make war. So that's a great precept that Soldier Donovan put up in that, man. He's coming back. Christ is coming back to make war with the Gentiles. I mean, that thing is plain. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right, man. We go in all day on it. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 11. My brothers and sisters putting great precepts up in there. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 11. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of God they are become an abomination and the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. And that's a great precept going back to Sister Eva's comment, and that's, we can really use that twofold. The Most High God used to destroy all these idols. That big statue in Brazil of Cesar Borgia, that thing is coming down. All these false idols, these things are coming down when Christ comes back on the scene. That's exactly right. Like Captain Yara said, we fools for Christ's sake, so we don't mind it. We can be made a spectacle and a laughing stock, but y'all gonna pay for that thing, man. First Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 1 through 4, brothers and precepts up in there. Soldier Donovan, man. Yes, Sister Mary, that is a great precept. Man, shut up, man. I literally just told you I said it, but it came back on. But your information, I didn't I can't get that damn thing off. It says Paul was taught by Gamaliel, who was a master of the law. That's right. And that's a great point, Brother Dunn Israel. A master of the law. All praise. Glad Ak back in the scene. I know I hadn't seen Ak in a while, because I know Ak be on her without commenting and putting in the precepts. So you need to see all battle axes on all the classes, especially you soldiers, man, trying to get built up. You be twins and Brother Bilal and Brother Judah. Gotta need all the brothers in there, man, on all the classes. Monday, Sunday through Saturday, man. Shalom, Sister Jerry Cooper. Where you been at, sis? What should we do when we are lost? We are looking for guidance. What should we do, Captain Ben and I? Well, first of all, you should reach out, man. Reach out to seek counsel, to talk with brothers, on things that you are dealing with, so we can give you the proper precepts to go over and to read. You want to make sure that you first and foremost pray to the Most High, that He open up your understanding, that He takes certain spirits off of you that you are dealing with. That's one of the main things. It's pronounced Gamaliel. So you want to make sure that you reach out, sis. That's one of the main things. Now, you all right, sis. Says, so here we go. First Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 4, some D. What you mean by that, sis? First Corinthians. Did you want to break down on that? We're not sure. Kind of clarify, sis. You know, we're approaching the 2 hour mark. 2 hour mark. This is the book of First Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 4. But every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonor his head. You said it in what we was talking about earlier on how it's differences, on how certain brothers do teach with their head covered. You know, we understand that too. Certain brothers see that fundamentally different from what we see it. We just keep it as it is. We don't want to disrespect our head in any way, which is Christ. So we teach with our head uncovered. Even in the Old Testament, people had diadems and mitres. They would have the crown covered, but the middle part would be open. Yeah, you know, we understand that, sis. And then I would tell brothers and sisters, like we say, we take it for what the scriptures say, and you see many brothers break it down. You know, you take that understanding on how they break it down versus on how we break it down. And I'm gonna tell you too, sis, one thing brothers and sisters must pray for is discernment. You want to make sure that you pray to the Most High God that He gives you discernment to understand and discern right from wrong. You know, that's one of the main things. Remember, I know we have destruction of Nicanor, and we have the Feast of Purim coming up. I know brothers touch on classes on that. I know I started to touch on that. I know we kind of leave that for brothers and soldiers to kind of touch on this week. But make sure that brothers and sisters are reading over the destruction of Nicanor in the book of First Maccabees and the Feast of Purim in the book of Esther and in the rest of Esther in the Apocrypha. That will be brothers and sisters homework so y'all can get that understanding of why we keep those high holy days or those holy days. Yeah, that's right. It says Isaiah 63 verse 1 to 4 for the white man who you troubled. Hey, I'm going to tell you, man, Isaiah 63, but it ain't no joke. Say, what's day? We're doing it again. We're doing it on that Thursday at even. So it's literally destruction of Nicanor is the 22nd. The Feast of Purim is the 23rd and 24th. But we're doing it that Thursday night. Make sure, brothers and sisters, is it treated like a new moon or no? No. You can buy and sell. It's just like a feast day. On a Feast of Purim, you can give gifts. You know, so the destruction of Nicanor is just a feast day. It's no precepts to where you can't buy or sell. No, not even like a Sabbath. Is just a feast day that you can buy and sell on, that you can cook on, and that you gather amongst your people on. So no specific things that we have to do like on Passover. You know, make sure brothers and sisters are preparing for Passover. That's one of the main things. Let's go to the book of Esther. Because I know I did kind of want to touch on it a little bit, but I know the questions just start flying in there. So unable to get to it. Yes, we will be celebrating those together because they run consecutively. So when the end of basically destruction of Nicanor, we're going immediately into the Feast of Purim. So yeah, we'll be celebrating them together. Exactly right, sis. This is the book of Esther, chapter 9 and verse 24. The book of Esther, chapter 9 and verse 24. Because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast Pur, that is the lot. So Purim means the lot, meaning what? That lot that Haman had placed upon us was for us to be put to death. But the Most High God, guess what? Turned that evil into good. That's literally when you read that account to where he had Esther set up as the what? The king's wife. So she can be able to do what? Use her beauty to guess what? To save her people. You know, to literally fight for her people and have a voice for her people. Meaning in these prestigious jobs that we have, that the jobs that we have, remember, we have to be doing it and using it for the Lord and for our people. You know, this is something heavy that brothers and sisters need to read. It's a great read when you read the book of Esther. It says, Pur, that is the lot, to consume them and to destroy them. But when Esther came before the king, he commanded the letters. He commanded by letters that this wicked device, which he had devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his son should be hanged on the gallows. So we see, and you read in the book of Esther, how Haman and Edomite was, guess what, our mortal damn enemies. Whenever you read about accounts in the scriptures, even with Nicanor, you read in the book of First Maccabees on how Nicanor was what? A well-known slave trader of Israelites. He hated us so much he was selling us for cheap. You know, well-known slave trader. You know, and the Most High God put his behind to death, man, because of that stuff. So remember, it's always going to be a recompense, especially to Esau. You know, and we always see that narrative where it's literally Jacob versus Esau. When the Most High God said that we was going to have war from generation to generation with Amalek, that's exactly what it meant, man. And it's still going on today, man. Police brutality, you know, the fake small hats constantly coming at us, putting forth laws on every facet of society to, guess what, keep us oppressed. We're constantly at wars against them, man. And a lot of times our people are too brainwashed to see it. It's the same narrative that's going on throughout Genesis to Revelation, man. The dragon, you know, it's the same narrative. It says, verse 25 from the top, but when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, which he devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his son should be hanged on the gallows. Wherefore they call these days Purim, after the name of Pur. Therefore, all the words of this letter and of that which they have seen concerning this matter, in which had come unto them, the Jews ordained and took upon them and upon their seed and upon all such as joined themselves unto them, so as they should not fail, that they would keep these 2 days according to their writing and according to their appointed time every year. So we keep these things, guess what? In memory of what the Most High God did to us. He saved us from that particular lot of destruction, man. Go to the book of Esther and the Apocrypha. The rest of Esther. That thing is heavy, man. Very, very heavy. This is the book of Esther in the Apocrypha. Chapter 10 and verse 10. And it reads, therefore had he made 2 lots, one for the people of God and another for all the Gentiles. And these two lots came at the hour and time and day of judgment before God among all nations. So God remembered his people and justified their inheritance. Therefore, those days should be unto them in the month Adar, the 14th and 15th day of the same month, with an assembly and joy and with gladness before God, according to the generations forever among his people. So we're in the 12th month, which is Adar, coming up on the 14th and 15th day of this month. So this thing is very, very special. Brothers and sisters are treated as such. Remember how the Most High God saved us from intimate destruction and showing how he, guess what, saved us, man. So it's a time to, guess what, celebrate amongst brothers and sisters. You can give presents out to one another, and worship in the Most High God's name, man. Brothers and sisters want to make sure you keep the etiquette, not drinking too much strong drink, not missing while we're literally coming together to celebrate those things, man. And just treating it like you a day at the club and so forth. So I want to make sure that we do that in the name of the Most High. We don't give a damn, Alistair. Small hats. So what? Because where in the Bible does it tell you to wear a small hat like that? A dumb hat. We don't care. All praise, sis. All praise, you and brother. Shalom, brother Dunyala. Shalom. All praise. I'm glad you up in there. Yes, we are. Shut up. Sister Boy says, "Sir, we fast for Purim? What you mean, like before that or on it? I wouldn't fast on it because it's a feast day. Yeah, I wouldn't fast on it because it's a feast day. Now, if you want to fast before it, sis, yeah, most definitely, sis. So double turn up. That's what you mean. Yeah, that's right. You want to turn up for the Lord. Double turn up for the Most High. No egg week, so that's right. So, yeah, sorry to hear that. Wish y'all could be down here. House of Brother Daniel. Yeah, most definitely. We just wear the fringes. I know even when brothers pulling in the book of Deuteronomy where it says, "Put it on thy vesture of the four corners of thy vesture," it's similar to what the Most High God said when He scattered us into the four corners. Does it literally mean four corners? No, it literally means everything within the four corners. So we just wear fringes all the way around the garment. That's normally how we do it. Says Alistair, you're not a Jew, you're an Edomite, and you know that. That's right. Khan done, Yasharala. Yeah, we don't. Even Brother Dunyala, like we say, the Most High God say we're not literally scattered in north, east, west, south. We're scattered with everything within. So me, I normally just put the fringes around the borders of the garment because the thing is, here's the thing, like where do you put the border of blue? And that's always kind of like the dilemma. Where do you put the borders of blue if you're wearing zigzags? All praise, huh? I say he changed his name. All praise. Don Lee has his change in court. All praises, man. That's a blessing right there, man. That's that Isaiah it's at that 44 and 1 on down, 45. Subscribe with the pen. Any other questions before we get up out of here? Any other questions? Yeah, look, I have a little smoke with the ZZs, just a little bit. Because, even in archaeology, when we see how people, when we went into the Assyrian captivity, you literally see the fringes all the way around their garment. Even in, what is that? It's this one book where it's literally showing King David with a bad garment on with his fringes, literally like on the fringes that we have today, all the way around. Says I was thinking about, oh, all praise. I thought I just seen. Oh, you changed your name. Okay. All praise, Soldier Done. Says all we all need to call Charles. I'm gonna tell you, sis, Andres, they can keep doing whatever the hell they want to today, people, man. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna have to be some dumb black people if you send your people, your children over there to get circumcised and let the damn Edomite put his mouth on his penis, man. I ain't playing, man. You got to be dumb as hell to do that, especially after all the things that they've been doing. But if they want to keep doing they people like that, hey, by all means, hey, have at it. Have at thee, man. He said they call me done it all the time. Done it all. This the second live that ended when I joined. Yeah, man, you got to kind of get up in there early. I know I kind of start around 6. I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I start anytime, man. I may start early. Sometimes I might start late, man. Yeah, send them to me. I love to see them. I know the ones with Israelites stitched into stone where we was going into the Assyrian captivity. You can definitely see the fringes on them on that. So since I was thinking about the new name Yahweh going to give us because we all got Esau last name. Exactly. Lords, we can't wait to that day, y'all. That's a glorious day to behold or to trying to endure for. Oh, Ak was saying, yeah, he just changed it in the chat. Yeah. Lord willing, you could change it. That's right. Lord willing, we all could. I could say, but with that, we give all honor and praises to the Most High and to His Son Yahweh Shah. Make sure that brothers and sisters ever got any questions, need any counsels, make sure y'all reach out to leadership, man. That's what brothers is here for, man. We literally do the work of the Most High God 24/7. So, and ultimately, that's what we're here for. To help brothers and sisters persevere. Look at it. Then you talking about we ain't enemies, man. Then he go and do some stuff like that, man. But that's that Psalms 55 and 20, man. 21. That's cold. That's what we laugh, man, because they don't do nothing but make the Bible a true book. But yes, fringes are worn on all garments. Anything that you wear, like with sisters, your skirts, your shirts, preferably. And we understand it takes a lot of fringes to go around your skirts, but you have to do what you have to do. They're not that expensive. You can literally I know my wife, she gets likes the shorter brushes fringes, especially for the longer skirts so they don't drag, but yeah, preferably around your skirts, around your shirts, have them on somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You have brothers that put them down the sides of their pants, down the side of the jackets, but you want to have them on all your garments that you do wear out because it's a reminder. We're telling you only wearing fringes on Saturday. That's the only time you're being reminded to keep the commandments. That to be the dumbest thing ever. You want to always be reminded of keeping the commandments every second of the day. What you mean, sis? Talking about what for exposure? Remember, brothers and sisters, if y'all are not familiar with the destruction of Nicanor and the Feast of Purim, go on Battle Axe. We have many classes over many years teaching it for you to go and watch it, But I know and brothers will touch on the class this week for sure. Oh, for exposure, man, I'm gonna tell you, sis, I don't give a damn what they do because right now they rule society. I'm gonna tell you, they've been exposing them, and it's been nothing been done, sis. Even that one priest that was giving them herpes, and they didn't do nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? So they've been getting exposed, but they don't really have any consequences behind their actions. You know what I'm saying? It is really no consequence. I mean, they're not gonna really get any judgments until the Most High God sent Christ, sis. So that's why we don't worry about that, man. We really don't. We just worry about our people. They gonna get theirs, B. Best believe that, man. They gonna get theirs, B. But give all honor and praises to the Most High and to His Son Yahushua. We always tell brothers and sisters to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. So we always like to bring out laws at the end. Oh, praise, Sister Vegan. You try to get her to come to class, sis. I would tell, man, the Israelites, but they always throwing them jabs up in there, boy. Her brother Doug, that's why we got to continually make Aleister Crowley our spiritual punching bag. You damn right. Like a spiritual punching bag, we just use the practice on, man. Practice our precepts on. All praise, sis. Sister Heaven now. Love you, brothers and sisters. I pray that y'all stay safe out there, man. Stay in the spirit out there, man. Stay watching the classes, man. Stay getting built up in the spirit, man. Keep doing this work, man. We almost out of here, Lord's will. Almost out of here, Israel. Got to hold the fort. Check your spirits in these last days, man. And guess what? Keep these commandments. Let's get a law. All praises. Let's go back to the book of Esther. Nah, I'll go this route. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse. Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8, and it reads, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day of the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates." So we see that brothers and sisters must keep the Sabbath days of the Most High. Now, the Sabbath days just encompass all the high holy days that's in Leviticus chapter 23. But you do have other holy days that were instituted, like what the Feast of Purim, the destruction of Nicanor, the day of Simon. Remember, those are holy days that have a great memorial behind them. So brothers and sisters should want to observe those as well. You should want to observe those things. It says, as a single woman, I'm trying my best to learn and obey the laws, statutes, commandments. Who do I go to for clarity when I don't know I'm a single woman? I'm gonna say, well, Sister Jerry, you already know, sis. You can always call us. We done talked on a few occasions, sis. Our phone lines are always open, sis. You can call at any time to ask questions concerning certain things, that you may lack the understanding on, sis. That's what we're here for, and that's for any one of the captains. They know. Try what, sis? Reaching out to us? What you mean? Yeah, I know we done talked on a few occasions, sis. My number's still the same. Make sure brothers and sisters like. You know, we had like 40 some people, 45, almost 50 people, only 2 likes. Get the likes up. Yeah, my number's still the same, sis. You know, if you don't have it, you know, the numbers is still in the description. But unless you have gotten a new phone, sis, you know, but my number is still the same. But if not, like I said, we have numbers in the description. Call us anytime, sis. We're always able to give you clarity concerning questions that you may have, sis. Now, I know last week my phone, I was kind of out of commission almost like a day. So, oh, I guess Soldier Donovan. But oh, you got a new phone. You or me, sis? I got a new phone too, as well. If that's what you're saying. So I know my phone was out of commission for almost like a day. I literally couldn't see it or answer it. But yeah, just give me a call, sis. You know, we always taking calls, sis. Always. You know. Yeah, just like I said, just give me a call again whenever you have time, sis, on clarity concerning any questions. But with that, we give all honor and praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Uh, pray that brothers and sisters were edified. I pray that we answer your questions to the best of our ability. And if not, reach out and give us a call. And with that, I was gonna say, Sister Jerry, just try to call me right now after the class, sis. Just try to call again. Make sure you get the number in the description. Uh, you may have been dialing the wrong number, but make sure you get the number in the description and just give me a call right after we get off the classes. And with that, we say shalom.